I want to discuss a couple of related items this week: storage and backups of our digital images. You may not go back through your photo archives very often, but you certainly want to make sure that those photos stay around for that day when you do want to reminisce by looking at old photos. However, I go through my older work on a regular basis. Every Friday, I like to turn back the clock to one of my past membership exclusive videos and galleries. It's a fun way for me to just remember where I've been and where I'm going. And I share it with you all on social media. This week, I am rewinding to, actually it's 3 videos. I edit in 3 different photo editing applications, and that's for everybody. And then I share a gallery of images with members, portraits and landscapes. To join my channel and to receive the rewinds each Friday and the other exclusive content throughout the week, you can click on the join button below or the link in the description of this video. Anyway, when I put those rewinds together, I have to dig into my archives to find photos. So that brings us to the topic today. Not only the storage of images, but the backups too. My process of storage and backups has definitely changed over time as my storage needs and technology has evolved. 10 years ago, I was storing everything on a live hard drive for my main storage and then writing everything to 2 sets of DVDs for backups. It was all very manual. Once I switched to using Apple computers, I started using Time Machine and also an external hard drive for main storage, but still also those DVDs for backups. Then a couple of years ago, I traded the DVDs for Amazon's cloud storage solution, still using external hard drives for primary storage and also for Time Machine storage, all the while upgrading to larger and larger external hard drives. There have been a lot of drives over the years. Finally, for 2018, enough is enough, and it's time to go to a proven RAID 6 solution. Why? 2 reasons. 1, anytime something weird has happened with one of my external drives, I haven't taken any chances and I've immediately replaced the drive. Sometimes maybe a file wouldn't copy, or I'd even have trouble connecting to the disk entirely. And the drives that I have taken with me on trips or moved around often, those are the ones that have more often had the problems. I will fully admit that I sometimes push my gear to the limits, but, and this is reason number 2, I believe in investing the time and money into robust solutions. So now, here in late 2018, I want to show you exactly how I work with my primary storage and backups. And also, I will show you the newest piece of gear here in my office/studio. It's not a camera, but it definitely helps keep things running smoothly. Lately, there's been a lot of talk about redundancy within the camera. And that's a topic for a different video, but let's just say that in 2018, when a high-end camera is released with only 1 memory card slot, it leads to a lot of discussion. But let's pick up where that leaves off and talk about where my images go once they leave the camera. What about redundancy then? The first step in my process is that I copy my images off of the memory card and onto an external hard drive that is connected to my Mac Mini. Keep in mind that I do not touch that memory card itself again until I have made sure of 2 things. 1, that a separate copy on a separate media has been completed. And this is typically when I copy the files onto my MacBook, where I will edit them for sharing with you all later on. And 2, if the images are important to me, which is almost always, I will take an extra step of reviewing the images on the computer before formatting that memory card. Depending on the images, I might even make sure that my entire process is complete before formatting that memory card. I feel like that is getting a little bit ahead though. After the images are on my primary storage, my next step is to kick off a fresh round of Time Machine backups on my Mac Mini. The first backup is to a single external hard drive. We'll call this like the quick and dirty Time Machine backup. Now I've got 2 copies of my images here at Snapchick HQ, along with the original images on the memory card. The next step goes to that new player in the system, the Synology NAS 1618 Plus. This thing is a big deal to me because this is peace of mind because it strongly diminishes the chance of failure. Let's just take a moment to talk about what this is and why. First, in the interest of transparency, Synology invited me to try out one of their products to see if it works within my scheme. I requested the DS1618 Plus, and they also sent me 4 4TB Seagate drives. This thing has 6 slots though, so I purchased 2 more 4TB drives to fill it up. I went with identical drives so that I could use RAID 6. I'm not a RAID expert, but some light reading showed me that RAID 6 with the 6 drives would allow me 2 drives of failure while giving me 16 terabytes of usable storage. And that's really good. And it's a huge upgrade for both size and redundancy based on what I have been doing. The DS1618 Plus also has its own brain, so it's plugged directly into my home router with an Ethernet cable. I access the configuration and such through my web browser, which has been really convenient. So what I've done so far is to set it up as a second time machine. It's designed to stay put, hold the 6 drives, and have me covered, even in the event of 2 drive failures. Now, the Synology is great. It's fairly easy to work with, and it gives me huge peace of mind, but it doesn't entirely mitigate the my home as a smoking hole in the ground scenario, so there's more risk mitigation to be done. The next step in my process is that I keep another external hard drive in another city in Arizona, and that gets updated about twice a month. It is a file copy, not a time machine, and I carry the files to it on this portable drive. I do have to remember to do it, but I'm always thinking about photos, so it's not really a chore. Also, as I mentioned earlier, I use Amazon Photos unlimited storage option. There are definitely a bunch of configurable options for that, but I'm pretty old school and I upload the month's photos at the end of the month. Or maybe more frequently when I have very recently, can't lose photos on my hands. Again, it's something that I have to remember to do, but I kind of like the last step being manual. That's okay with me. I like keeping at least some amount of manual steps in the process because it kind of helps me keep a handle on how much storage I'm using, and I don't know, it just generally makes me feel in control of the process and that everything is running smoothly. Okay, I realized that was a lot, so let's do a quick review. Step 1, take the photos. Step 2, download to computer. Keep photos on memory card. Step 3, make a copy right away for working with the files. Step 4, inspect the images. Step 5, kick off that time machine backup. Step 6, at this point, I have 3 to 4 copies and I can think about formatting that memory card. Step 7, within a week or 2, I am copying the recent images off-site with my own hardware. Step 8, and no later than the end of the month, I am uploading the month of images to Amazon Cloud Drive. My process might be long, but is it absolutely perfect? Not exactly. I don't do my offsite or cloud backups immediately when I download the images. There certainly are options for this immediate cloud backup though, if that is the right option for you. Synology even has a cloud service that integrates with the DS1618 Plus. What I have done is come up with a process that works for me and easily fits into my flow. Even the manual parts of the process get done when they should. And that's what I recommend for any of you who maybe don't have a process at this point in time. I have at least a dozen stories from viewers over the years where they have lost all of their photos, either by equipment failure, their own confusion when working with their images, I mean, that can happen, or catastrophic events. And those aren't fun to think about, whether or not there are photos at stake. So I urge you to find a process that is right for you and is easy for you. So what I want from all of you today is 3 things. 1, members, check out this week's Member Rewind. Really, everybody can check it out. I'm actually going to update the Nikon Capture NXD video soon because Nikon updated the software, so keep your eye out for that, but it's always fun to watch somebody else edit and find free software. 2, if you've got a super robust backup process, give us a summary in the comments because my solution certainly isn't the only answer. So I definitely want to hear from you all what you do. And 3, I'm open to answering questions. about this backup process, including any questions about the new kid on the block, the Synology unit. I'm imagining that I'm going to receive a lot of questions, so I will definitely make a follow-up video where I answer the questions, and also I'd like to highlight some of the best viewer processes. Hopefully that'll help those of you out there that don't have a backup process to figure out what might be right for you, or at least a place to start. So, thanks for watching, everyone.